the website that I use for comedy, but my personal one is REMU. So it's REMU, abbreviated for Reginald Muhammad.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, sir. Okay,
Mhm.
excellent. And we are live. I want to thank
Okay.
everyone for tuning in to a special edition of Off the Record this evening, the People's Podcast. We have a great guest, someone who's very inspirational to me as an aspiring actor and someone who just wants to chase my dreams. Have always been in awe and admired our brother Reggie Reg, the comedian, and for him to take time out of his busy schedule, it means a lot to me and to the listening and viewing audience. I want to thank you, Brother Reginald, for taking time to come on to speak with us today.
Well, Brother Joshua, I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come onto your show, brother. And I think you're doing a fantastic job. And if there's any time you want to speak to me, you have access to me.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, excellent. Well, the first thing we want to know, we want to get into your professional life first,
Mhm.
and then hear about your spiritual journey and what made you join the nation and things of that nature.
Okay.
You're a soldier as well, but we want to get into your professional life because many people who aren't familiar with the nation or may not know you through your work because you've done
Right.
such a great work with your voiceovers, your comedy, your acting. Well, first off, what inspired you to go into comedy?
Um, when who inspired me? It's been several people. It was Flip Wilson.
Okay, okay.
It was Richard Pryor,
Yes,
Red
sir. Yes,
Fox,
sir.
Bill Cosby, George Carlin,
Hmm.
Three Stooges,
Okay.
Eddie Murphy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, all
yeah,
the
yeah.
people that were on
Okay.
Saturday Night Live. Yeah, so it's been like a collage. Carol Burnett, just
Yeah, she's
a lot
good.
of
She's
people,
good.
man. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, my
Uh-huh.
question for you is, what when did you know that you got the gift of being able to do other people's voices and do like impressions?
Um, you know what? It I really didn't know it was a gift at the time. I was a child living in Brookhaven, Mississippi, and at the time, and I used to like to watch television. So whatever I saw on television, Joshua, I like to imitate it, and
Mm.
so it just kind of dived into school when I was bored with work. I remember in high school, I was in a classroom. What they call was like a classroom for people, uh, that were uh, doing opposite of work. So I was in classroom with a bunch of uh, gangs, the GDs. Blackstone. I was a Blackstone at the time, and a lot of
Okay.
GDs in Chicago. And so I remember I used to imitate my teachers. I had one teacher, his name was Mr. Kadandis. He was from India.
Mm.
Taught He taught, what did he teach, man? I think it was math or literature. I think it was literature. And, we just gave him a hard time, man. And he out of the classroom, and I would go up to the board and I would imitate him. He had that Indian accent. Let me tell you, I want to be able to tell your people that can we cuss on here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course. Yes, sir.
They would say, "Learn, you motherfuckers, when are you not going to learn anything?" We got to the point where anytime you come in the class, we would say, "GD, oh, the GD, motherfucker, to the board. Do you understand?" Go up and do impressions of him, and but it's doing like on Tuesday you would have uh, I name a brother Amir
Mm.
Muhammad. Um, Amir, man, he saw doing my act at the time. I was doing all the officials and the nation. I was doing Brother Khalid, the minister,
Okay.
Aqua, and
Can you please stop right there? Can
Mustafa.
you give us some
Yeah,
examples when you did? How did you do Dr. Khaled? Like how did you do that?
Khalid was very specific on words. He would say something. He would say like when his name, he would say in percent the merciful, Allah, the Lord of the world. One man in America that I would want to join is white man, stuff like
okay, Reginald, your mic keeps going in and out. I think it's something on your phone.
Keeps going in and out.
Yes, sir, it keeps going to mute to unmute. And thank you all for watching. And walaikum salam, Mimi, walaikum salam, Naima, walaikum salam. Thank you, Brother Earl, for showing love. Brother Daniel, always showing love. We're working with Brother Reggie Reg. Get his mic together. You guys just press unmute. Just turn the mic on. It was working at first. Okay, where you? Okay, boom.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So Dr. Khaled, that was great. That was a great one. Okay, yes. Sir.
Yeah, Dr. Khaled and just everybody that was there, and then some other celebrity people that I was doing at the time. So he said, you know what, you should be at a comedy club. I said, comedy club? Where is that? So I went out and found out where an open mic was, and it started from there, man. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now, when you say other officials, we want to get to the celebrities, but to the people who know the people in Chicago and the officials of, Muhammad's number 2 at that time, who were they, and could you do some of the impressions that you did?
It would be Brother Akbar. Brother Akbar had a habit of going over time a lot. Like at the final call, they used to have a time, video, because the minister would be coming on, and Brother Akbar would be describing his adventures in another country. He would say, "All right, brothers and sisters, I just got back from Uganda, and I sat down with the people over there, and they were telling me that at that time that they didn't know anything about the minister. I said, well, Mr. Farrakhan is very happy to see you, very happy to have your greetings. Hold on, brother, I see the time. Just give me one moment. I get to that point in just 1 second. I went over and offered them a bean pie. Did you know the Negroes didn't know what a bean pie was?" And he would go on and on and on. Then it would be Brother Mustafa, the great Brother Mustafa. Mustafa is very, he builds up the morale of people.
Okay.
He's very specific when he talks to you. He says, "In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God. I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is indeed his Christ. And I bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, talking about my father."
Yes, sir.
Mustafa and who else, man? It would Brother Benny, the great Brother Benny. Hold on now. Look, Joshua, I'm licking, man. I mean, how's your father, man? How's the family? Boy. I remember when you were just a little boy, boy. Motherfucker, hold on now. He'd be waving his finger. Hold on now. I remember when I went to Baskin Robbins, man, and I was getting something to eat. And boy, my chest started hurting me, mother. And next thing I know, I went home to get me an Alka-Seltzer. No, hold on now. Let's not get spooky now. If you have a problem, you have to get your Alka-Seltzer. Mother, I took that Alka-Seltzer and I thought maybe the peoples was trying to poison me. But here's my hand to Allah. No, I'm not going to say Master Farrakhan Muhammad is not the God now. So,
okay, what about my dad? How was he back in the 90s?
You be like, something like, so, brothers and sisters, I don't understand why we don't want no money, brother. We got plenty of money outside. I don't know why we don't want to. I mean, why? Some Lakers hold you know this. Sharif, you know.
What about the minister? And what about the minister?
Well, you got Ishmael.
Okay.
Ishmael, you know, he goes back and forth when he talks. Brothers and sisters, I don't know why it's so hard for us to recognize that when we go to the bathroom, that we're going to need toilet paper to wash the part. And then, of course, man, Mr. Louis Farrakhan, man, is probably. I have done him in my shows, you know, at the comedy club. And, I had to, you know, kind of twist things around because I never try to make the minister seem like that he's foolish or anything.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, the minister was one of the ones that I would do, and I would just, you know, I would watch all of the interviews and stuff, and we would, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful,
yeah,
and to all of the brothers and sisters who are watching via video here on Brother Joshua's show, I first want to say to Brother Joshua, I thank Allah. You and your vision of putting this together to allow your brother to be on your show, and to your family, to Brother Sharif, Minister Sharif, there in Atlanta, Georgia. I will be coming to Atlanta pretty soon to talk to you and to talk to the people.
Yes, sir.
About some upcoming events. I want to talk about power at, at last forever. I mean, you know, the minister. Yeah. And if you can find the toilet paper that Brother Ishmael, it is, you know. Oh, brothers and sisters, what a funk it would be if you did not take care of your business when you got, you know. So, yeah, okay, so it would be.
Okay, my sister Mimi, okay. Thank you all for watching, brother. Sister Ramonia, my brother David Ali, always holding it down in Chicago. My brother Rashad, everybody sends the greetings as well. My sister Mimi wants to know, who is the most difficult that you ever had to impersonate?
First it was Barack Obama. Really, a lot of people. You know, it takes a minute to do an impression. You know, whether it was Barack Obama, it was George W. Bush, Barack Obama.
Did you ever get him? Did you ever get him down?
Oh yeah. I got him. And the current president now, Donald Trump. You know, yes, and so it's been quite a few people that I've had to take a minute and watch, observe. And then sometimes what happens is there's some other people who have the same voice pattern, like the person you're trying to do.
Yes, sir.
Like for example, to do you know, Barack talks on a cadence, and
okay.
There are moments that we have to make sure that each and every one of us are doing the best that we can. For example, when I sit back and talk to my wife Michelle, or my daughters Sasha and Malia, I immediately tell them that when they go to the bathroom, make sure that they have enough tissue to take care of their business when they come out.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everybody? All right, thank you. So, and then with George Bush, it was kind of this, America, Uh, I see Brother Joshua right there on the big screen there, and so many people have been telling me about the internet and how it's used. And then with the current president, I was watching Regis Philbin. For people who don't know who Regis Philbin is, he used to come on television in the morning time. They used to have a television show called Regis and Kathy Lee. Now it's Ryan Seacrest and Kelly Ripa.
Okay.
So that's the show he used to do, and and they're both from New York, and but with Donald Trump, it sounds similar to Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin talks with a nasal. Oh boy, I was coming to the office the other day, and then I was going down the street, and the next thing you know, a truck came in front of me, and boy, it was terrible. So let's take a look at the news and let's go on. But with Donald Trump is our people, America. So many people. So no, Josh. No, Josh. He's a nice guy. Josh is a nice guy, but the problem is we know each other. It's okay, Josh. He's a great guy. He really has a lot of energy. Wonderful energy. Great guy. So it's it's all of those things that go into doing an impression. So yeah, it does take a minute to watch, and then sometimes, like I said, you may see somebody else and you say, that's it. That's who Donald Trump. Donald Trump is Regis Philbin. So all I gotta do is just make the voice higher versus, low.
That's God level talent, brother, and I respect that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's right. I see you over there. I see everybody that's watching. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh. Yeah. Your boy Denzel. That's right. You want to get away, didn't you? Huh? Josh? Yeah, I see you laughing. I see you laughing. What's so funny, huh? Huh? I bet it's not funny anymore, isn't it? Huh? When you have to go to the bathroom and there's no toilet tissue in the bathroom, huh? Which one is it gonna be, son? Huh? You gonna be a wolf or a sheep? Oh, I know. I know people are saying, "Man, this guy is out of his mind, man."
Okay, now speaking of Denzel, and thank you as already for asking about Denzel. My sister Naiva says hilarious. I was watching the Vlad interview with Eric Spears from Mad TV, who does a lot of voiceovers, and I don't know if you know that, but he gave you. He said they was asking him to do his impressions, and he said Reggie Reg is one of the best to do it, but he said when it comes to Denzel Washington, he doesn't even try to touch it because he saw you do it, and he thinks that's just you got it the best.
Yeah, Aries is a friend of mine. I was in Los Angeles, Josh, and I was at the Improv Comedy Club in Los Angeles, and Aries was there. And before I came off stage, he came up with me, and we were doing multiple impressions, and we had a talk, and yeah, he gave me that compliment, man. And but as well with Aries Spears does some impressions that I don't touch, like Jay-Z and Snoop and who else, man? He does a great so there's some impressions that he does that I don't even touch. That he's the master. He does LL like nobody's business. You know what I mean? He does DMX like nobody's business. So each of us every impressionist has their own mode, so to speak. That's something that they do better than anybody else, even though you got impressionists that do Schwarzenegger and do Bill Cosby but there's always going to be somebody that does the person a lot better than that other person. You have to take your hat off. So I'm humbled by some of the things that Aries Spears, and he's a good friend of mine, and he's one of the best impressionists that I've seen.
Okay, wonderful. Now speaking of that, you mentioned some of your inspirations of some of my favorite comedians of all time. Eddie Murphy, I think he's phenomenal. Do you still do Eddie Murphy, or you don't do him anymore?
You know what? I don't do Eddie Murphy as well as Jay Farrow. Jay Farrow does the best Eddie Murphy. I do people like Chris Rock and
Okay.
what's going on? Everybody else is crazy. I'm not crazy. You crazy, 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 crazy. But I think look, man. I was in the bathroom, man. And I noticed that there wasn't enough tissue to be able to wash my ass. Damn, coming off the toilet, ready to wipe the bowl down, ready to put some water, some soap so I can wipe myself, but couldn't find no more toilet paper. I'm tired. You got Richard Pryor. I don't care what nobody say. Shit.
Yes.
I better have me some toilet paper. Shit. You ever have the runs and there ain't no toilet paper in the bathroom?
Yeah.
That shit will make you crazy. And then Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby. See, because the people here at the county jail make sure that the toilet paper is accessible to everybody that's in the lockup, see, because we have our own little place in the cell, see. And so sometimes you have to be able to buy your own toilet paper.
That's amazing. Okay, bro Reggie, what advice do you give to people who are like me, trying to take my craft serious with acting and want to pursue my dreams in that? What advice do you give?
That's what I would say to you is that some of my experiences is this. If you really want it, then you have to prepare yourself for the good times and the slow times and the bad times, because it's going to be a accumulation of all of these things. And I've in comedy, man, I've had moments when I have left Illinois and went to another city and struggled, not being settled, and not having a job at the time, and then getting a job, then losing both of them, and then getting a break to work at the comedy club, and so it's accumulation of all of those things, and know that whatever your passion is, because if acting is your passion, and if singing or rapping is your passion, it's something that you're going to want to, regardless to whatever the obstacle is, you'll overcome those obstacles, and you just have to stay on the path, man, because it's just going to be some rough moments, and support is always good. Support is always key. And even if you don't have the support, man, Allah is sufficient, brother.
Yes, sir.
Allah is sufficient, man. And just stay on the path, man. I mean, I've been at this for almost 20 something years now. And people don't understand that it's not an overnight success. And then the other thing is, Josh, that for people who, are pursuing entertainment or pretty much anything, that man, it's you gotta have the you just gotta stay focused. You gotta put blinders on. It's just like having blinders on a horse.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Once those blinders in, that horse looks straight ahead. And but it's gonna be some obstacles, man. It's gonna be some obstacles, and take Allah with you every step of the way. Especially in the moments, man, when you don't know when I remember one time, can I share this with you? I remember one time, there's been moments when I stopped doing comedy for a while, and I thought this was really rough, and I ended up getting a job and was miserable. And but it kept calling me back, because when I would look at people on television, I said, man, I know I can do a much better job.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
yeah, so you get back on it and just keep at it, man, and before you know it, things start happening. It just
Mm.
comes out of nowhere, but you got to stay on point with what you're doing, and keep those blinders on, and stay straight. And you gotta have God with you. Got
Yes,
to have God. Gotta have that spiritual base, man.
yes. Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. And thank you all for watching. I want to say briefly that this podcast is brought to you today by Supreme Spring Water. My sister Miriam's book on Amazon, ABC I Love Me, the coloring book. My brother Rashad and his business partner Jamal at a street premiere. That's a video production company. And my second book, which is a children's book, Cleopatra, which is on Amazon as well. If you all have a business or want something to promote, let me know. Inbox, text me, like, share, subscribe. J Imagination for Cash App, and let me know what your business is, and we'll promote that as well. My brother Rashad wants to know, sir, what was it like standing in for Denzel on Remember the Titans?
I was a featured. Um, I was a featured, what they call extra in the movie. I was one of the football players, but
Okay.
however, I did stand in for him for about a week. And a stand-in is somebody that stands on the mark before the actor comes to the mark. There's an X that's on the ground,
Yeah.
and it's where the camera's positioned. And so they had me stand there, and they would position the camera. And so when Denzel would come, I would just move right out of that spot, and he would take the spots.
Mm.
But I came on initially. I had some lines that I read, and they filmed it, but it didn't make the cut. But I was one of the featured extras that filmed the duration of the movie, and it was an experience that that made me understand how films are made. Films are not made the way.
Okay, well, Reginald, your phone is paused. Okay. Wow, Brother Reginald's phone is paused. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Okay, waiting on Brother Reginald to come.
Hello. I'm sorry, brother. I had a call come in.
Oh, no, it's
Can you
all
hear
good.
me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. I can't hardly hear you, so I don't. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Oh boy.
Okay, we're waiting on Brother
Can you hear
Reginald.
me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So okay, I can't but anyway, I'm gonna go on with so anyway, to answer the question, it was an experience that I learned about how movies are made, and I learned the professionalism in the movie industry with actors. There's a reason why actors are kind of pampered a little bit
Mm.
because it's like work. Show business is like work. It's just a different kind of work. But trust me, the kind of energy that they put into reading lines and to try to make a scene rememberable and as real as they can, it was a moment that I'll never forget. And then being around Wood Harris and
Mm.
Donald Faison and
Yes,
and
sir. Yes,
Ron
sir.
Garshland, all these guys are like huge now.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
then
sir.
Denzel, Will Patton, and Greg Allen, and the directors, man, it's nothing like it. But it's work though. Trust me, it's work.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I have a few more questions before you leave, sir, because I don't want to hold your time. But you being an actor and being as long as I've known you, before I knew you as a comedian or someone who did voiceovers, I knew you as an FOI. When did you? What made you want to join the Nation of Islam?
Okay. Can you hear me? Cause
Yes.
I can't
Lord.
I can't hear what you're saying for some reason.
Can you hear me now? I want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Interviews and they be talking to them, they be looking and stuff, and they be looking and stuff, and All right, we have technical difficulties. Let's go live to the River down Shelton. How's everything? Everybody said something about the toilet tissue. And I just want to say that everybody, you got to stand for somebody. If you don't stand with somebody, you're going to stand with somebody. If you don't stand with somebody, you're going to stand outside to somebody else. It makes no sense at all. Like, I probably, hold on one second, brother. I'm going to put this down and go get another set. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay, yes, sir. But while the comedian Reggie Reg is making us laugh and going to get his sound fixed, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We also have top 5 coming up in about 15 minutes, and it's going to be a great episode this evening as well. This evening, we'll be dealing with the top 5 saddest songs of all time. We will also be dealing with the top 5 TV shows that fall off after a certain point. For example, everybody's talking about Power right now and how it was great in the beginning, but it fell off towards the end. I'm a Power fan, so that's not really how I feel, but whatever. I digress. We also deal with, tonight we'll be dealing with top 5 movie props.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Okay. Can you hear me now, brother?
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, sir.
All right, so.
Yes, sir. My question to you is, what made you join the FOI?
That's a good question. My mother at the time was campaigning for, in 1984, 83, Jesse Jackson was running for president. And my mother used to frequently go to Operation Push. And at that time, Jesse Jackson called on the nation to back him. Well, I called him for the nation and the minister's support. And so my mother admired the FOI and how the FOI was mannerable and how they would speak. And I, at the time, I was gang banging. I was a Blackstone. I was gang banging. And so one day she was at the final call, 79th and Emerald, and it was ice and stuff. So I didn't want my mother to fall. So I went up there. And when I came in the doors and I went into the check room, I looked and seen how the brothers was clean and they looked like Secret Service agents. And I wanted to be a Secret Service agent when I was coming up, you know. And so I thought they was there for Jesse Jackson, man. And then they told me to go upstairs, and I went upstairs, man, and I heard the minister. And I never will forget, Brother Josh, he had on a light blue 3-piece suit, a white shirt, black bow tie, black shoes, black socks, and he was speaking that night. And when I got back home, I said, "Wow!" I had a girlfriend at the time. I said, "Let's go see this man. His name is," I couldn't even remember the minister's name. I said, "I never heard nobody talk like that." And so the brothers, the FOI was soldiering in the community right around the final call. And Brother Daniel, I don't know what Brother Daniel's holy name is, but everybody knows Brother Daniel. It's the brother that works on the video team.
Yes, sir, Brother Hassan. His name is Hassan.
Yeah. Yes. And he was soldiering with the brothers, and he came up to me and asked me, "Have I been to Muhammad's mosque?" And I said, I was just over there. He said, "Would you like to come and be my guest?" I said, "Yeah." And then I went, and this time Brother Khalid was speaking. And Brother Khalid asked, he said, "If there's anybody believe what I say is true and want to join on, raise your hand." I came down and I shook Brother Khaled's hand. And then I went over to the processing class, and then they gave me instructions on what that FOI was on Saturday at that time. And I came, and I liked what I heard, and I wanted to help the minister, man, help in the movement, brother, and that's how I got started. I don't have any regrets at all. It is the place where a black man should be,
and all men and boys must join the FOI. And just so much that was there at the time. And then your father, Brother Sharif, and then the brothers there in Washington D.C., man, with the dope busters, and
Yes, sir.
I mean the FOI was doing a lot, man. We was kicking ass and taking names later, brother,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
until the minister said, "Hey, you don't beat up on our people." We had to slow down, but those were some great moments and times, man. So yeah, I joined the FOI. That's what got me into the FOI.
Wonderful. Yes, sir. I have
Yeah.
one more question, and thank you all for watching. What was it like when you first met the minister, and did you ever get to do your impression for him?
When I first met the minister, it was at his house. The
Mm,
minister stayed. He wasn't at the palace at the time. We hadn't gotten the palace yet. He was
mm,
at his other home that was in the Evergreen uh, area of the city, and it was a mixed neighborhood. And I remember it was a Sunday, Brother Joshua, and Brother Khalid had asked for some brothers to go over to his home to hold post, and I was new, and the brothers that was on post had left, and so they asked me if I wanted to stay back. I said I'll stay back, and I held post on the inside of the minister's home, and I remember the minister was coming from Arizona, and Brother Ali, which was Brother Frank at the time,
okay.
was bringing him, in the car, and the FOI got out, and the minister came in, and I was standing by the crest by the flag that was in his home,
Mm, mm,
and then that's the first time meeting him, and he said, "Who is this handsome young man?" My name is Brother Reggie. He said, "I hope to see you Sunday, brother, inshallah." And I didn't know what none of that meant at the time, and I said, "Yes, sir." And the brother relieved me, and I left, and that was my first time meeting him. Now, the first time he saw me doing an impression of him was at
Okay. Dang. Brother Reginald's Wi-Fi is the sound is going to be receiving a call.
I'm sorry, brother. I got a show this afternoon, so they're calling me.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Uh,
That's
and
my last
can
question.
can you hear me? Hold on one second. Hold on 1 second, brother Josh.
Yes, sir.
Can All right. I don't want to see if I got some sound. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me, brother Joshua?
okay.
Again? Yes, sir.
And anyway, I was in the gymnasium, and it was a talent night, and I asked the minister if I could have his.
Uh, okay, well, Brother Reginald, he's getting ready to do a show, y'all. So I thank him for coming on, giving us some great laughs and great history as well with his stories. Please go back and watch it if y'all just joined in. His brother is a legend, great at doing voiceovers. I mean, impressions.
Okay. We're gonna try one more time. I just told them to give me a minute.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me, brother Joshua?
Yes, sir, I can.
Oh, okay. And so I looked in the audience, and I got the minister's approval, and I done him. And I know people were on edge because you better know what you're doing. And yeah, man, because I mean that's a sensitive impression, man. That's
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
sensitive, brother. So, but by the grace of Allah, man, I was able to do it, and he enjoyed it. And the last time I performed in front of him was at the Harold Washington Center here in Chicago on 47th and King Drive,
Mm,
and I was opening up for Paul Mooney,
mm,
and the minister came to the second show,
mm.
and I said, I can't, and I said it would be for me dumb not to acknowledge that the the baddest black man on planet Earth is in the
Yes, sir.
building,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
I just put everything else on the side that I was gonna do, and I said, man, wouldn't it be some man if Farrakhan, man, ran for president? We know the minister would never run for president,
Yes,
but
sir. Yes, sir.
you know, the people. I said, man, the minister, he ain't gonna be sitting there talking about integration, Then I went into my impression of him, and the audience liked it, and the minister liked it. So, so that was the last time. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But that was the first time at the University in the gymnasium of the University of Pennsylvania.
Wonderful, sir. I have a
Yeah.
question. How can
Yeah.
my audience, how can we see your any upcoming shows, or how can we see you?
Well, brother Joshua, you gotta have me come back on because right now most of my I'm in the process of redoing a lot of my social media,
Okay.
and stuff won't be up until a few days because I've had to change hands and management and stuff, so we're taking things out of one hand into another hand. So when you bring me back on, what I'll do is I'll text you. If you have me back on, I'll have all that stuff for everybody. We're gonna be doing sketches and all that kind of stuff, and you'll be able to see it on YouTube. And so we hope that everybody get an opportunity.
Yes, sir. Well, I thank you for coming on, sir. It's an honor. My family extends our greetings and our love to you, and we thank you. Not just my family, because a lot of my siblings and I are creatives, and are authors or music or some form of talent using our gifts. My sister does ballet, and you inspire us because you show that you can have faith and still chase your dreams and pursue your dreams and win and be around the people and be respected in your craft. So that's a huge deal to us, sir.
All praise is due to Allah, but just keep in mind, brother, that the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan has always told us one of the greatest things that, oh man.
Thank you, Neezy. Okay, Brother Reg was getting ready to do a show. Brother got to get his money. I understand. I thank you all for watching. That's my impression. But I thank everybody for watching Off the Record, the People's Podcast this evening. We look forward to bringing our brother Reggie Reg back for part 2. And we'll have a list of some of his impressions that he can do again. I thank you all for watching. Have a great night.